Trump wants to ban pregnant tourists from entering the US, China ramps up AI research to compete with America, and Germany is acquiring laser weapons. President Trump's Attorney General Todd Blanche wants to ban so-called birth tourists. The Guardian reports that just one day after the US Supreme Court upheld the constitutional guarantee of birthright citizenship, Todd Blanche said federal prosecutors and law enforcement officers will focus on combating so-called birth tourism. Which, if you ask me, sounds like a pretty awful vacation. But that's just me. Now, how many people actually travel to the US for the sole purpose of giving birth is still unknown, with government lawyer D. John Sauer saying no one knows for sure exactly how big the problem of birth tourism really is. But the Center for Immigration Studies said that there are between 20,000 and 26,000 births by women on tourist visas annually, which is less than 1% of babies born in the US each year. Seeing as the number of births per year in the US is around 3.6 million, I don't really see the big issue here. But what's your thoughts? Now, over to the AI arms race. For the longest time, America has been the undisputed frontrunner for AI technology. But that might change in the near future as Chinese companies get a foothold around the world, especially in Russia and Southeast Asia, where they today have somewhere around 30 to 50% of the market. American large language models, or LLMs for short, like ChatGPT, Gemini and Claude, have dominated for some time. But alternatives like Dola, DeepSeek and Qwen are catching up, while Europe is lagging behind. One scary part for Europe is that these AI models can theoretically act in favor for their own country of origin. For example, in one case, security researchers found that China's DeepSeek more frequently generated faulty code for IT projects with connection to Tibet. And a second case is a temporary export control imposed by the US government on Claude models, where they intended to restrict access to particularly powerful models for foreign nationals on national security grounds. This means European companies and researchers who rely heavily on AI for their workflow becomes very vulnerable to decisions made in the US and China in these uncertain times. So, do you trust AI? And do you trust big tech to make those decisions? Over to something a little bit less dystopian. Or maybe not. Germany earlier vowed to build the most powerful military in Europe, and it seems they weren't kidding, as they're now creating a 100 kilowatt high energy laser weapon to shoot down short and long range missiles as well as drones. And this weapon is expected to be operational by 2029. Now, Defense News reports that the weapon will be developed by European defense contractor MBDA and Germany's weapon developer Rheinmetall. German armed forces signed a contract with MBDA and Rheinmetall in June to develop the full system. According to Rheinmetall, the contract value is in the mid three-digit million euro range, which is a stupid way of saying about €500 million. Now, this is not MBDA's first go at making such a system, as they previously built a 50 kilowatt laser named Dragonfire, which, if you ask me, is a pretty sick name, for the British Royal Navy. And that will be fitted on its destroyer-class vessel in 2027. And the German Navy has been testing a 20 kilowatt demonstrator of the laser weapon that's been deployed on board the German frigate Schassen. Frigate Schassen. I think I said that right. For more than a year now, shooting well over 1,000 shots at land, sea and air targets. They say the system can focus on an area measuring just a few centimeters in diameter and is reliable in all weather conditions. So, what are your thoughts on the German military? I mean, they do say third time's the charm, but